Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Yes, we reached that point where the Russians really are smacking back. And now that I've been waiting for this, I knew it will be coming, to be more precise. And that is, the Russians threaten to hit the countries supplying Ukraine with weapons and to provide not necessarily the Russians' allies with long-range missiles that could strike Western targets, but supply countries that were smacked in the face by the West with long-range missile systems that could hit Western targets. You know what it is? You do this to me, I will do this to you. So let's see, you escalate, I'm escalating. I'm reaching, extending a helping hand. That's what's going on now. I have 3 articles here. 2 are coming from America, and 1 is coming from Ukrainska Pravda, obviously. And let's start with the American media. Let me see. Where is that? All right, here it is. So we start with Associated Press. And this is one of the titles. You're going to see the Ukrainian title is very dangerous. I don't think they're right with the title, but nevertheless it could happen. So here is the title right there, Associated Press, and it says Putin warns that Russia could provide long-range weapons to others to strike Western targets. This is from today. Now let's go and read this article coming from Associated Press. First one. And since St. Petersburg, Russia, President Vladimir Putin warned Wednesday that Russia could provide long-range weapons to others to strike Western targets in response to NATO allies allowing Ukraine to use their arms to attack Russian territory. So you do this, I will do the same thing to you. See if you like it. A very, very Christian way, all right? The golden shower, the golden rule. Putin also reaffirmed Moscow's readiness to use nuclear weapons if it sees a threat to its sovereignty. Well, don't worry. Kinzinger, whatever his name is, Adam Kinzinger, an imbecile, said that don't worry, the Russians are bluffing. Keep doing, keep pushing. So stay okay when the Russians are going to send something to you, and then you look at Kinzinger, he's going to be like, Mommy. That's exactly what's going to happen. Now, the recent actions by the West will further undermine international security and could lead to, and I'm quoting, very serious problems, end quote. He said, taking questions from international journalists, something that has become extremely rare since Moscow sends troops into Ukraine. And I'm quoting, that would mark their direct involvement in the war against the Russian Federation, and we reserve the right to act the same way. Bingo. Putin said, end quote. The United States and Germany recently authorized Ukraine to hit some targets on Russian soil, just a little bit over there, with the long-range weapons they are supplying Kiev. Okay, my friends, that's the first one. Second one, from Business Insider. Putin said Russia could send long-range weapons around the world to those who want to strike Western facilities. I like this title better. I think this is better than the other one. Right there. Why is it better? Because it is going to provide countries that were kicked in the teeth by the big guy, the unassigned police country of the world, to maybe be hit back. And it's not going to be only, how should I put it, the United States of America. It's going to be other countries, France, Germany, the Netherlands, Belgium, Sweden, Norway, Finland, all these, and the Baltic states, no. You know why? Because the Russians will take care of the Baltic states like this. Oh, sorry. Oh, fuck. That's how Russia is going to deal with the Baltic states. She's going to, when in sleep, is going to turn around a little bit, roll over, and going to, not even, it's going to be like, and the Baltic states, because they're so big. Anyway, Vladimir Putin has floated sending long-range weapons to regions that want to strike the West. What did you expect? I told you, the Russians are consistent. If a Russian tells you he's going to smack you, he's going to smack you. If a Russian tells you he's going to give you $1, he's going to give you $1. In this case, smacking. So he made the threat. Woo, we are the victims. We are in self-defense. That's the narrative you will be fed by your elected officials who work for you, and me. He made a threat on Wednesday as he spoke to journalists in St. Petersburg. Okay, Russian President Putin said on Wednesday that he could send long-range weapons to regions around the world, wanting to strike. Well, this is sneaky. I'm going to show you where the quotation marks are. So, this is the reporting. Russian President Vladimir Putin said on Wednesday that he could send long-range weapons to, now the quotation mark, regions around the world, end of the quotation marks. And then, this is per Business Insider. Wanting to strike Western targets. So that's added. He didn't say that. They say that. Why? Create a little bit of a... We'll see. Targets after the US and its allies authorized Ukrainian strikes with their arms on Russian soil. All right, so it says here, I'm quoting, if they consider it possible to supply such weapons to the combat zone to launch strikes on our territory and create problems for us, why don't we have the same right to supply weapons of the same class to some regions of the world where they can be used to launch strikes on sensitive facilities of the countries that do it to Russia? Question mark. End quote, he said. So yeah, we're going to give to people who, I don't know, might want to smack you. Right, Business Insider? You were right. Putin said this response could be, quote unquote, asymmetric, end quote, but didn't say which organizations or governments could receive such weapons from the Kremlin. It's coming. Remember, the people get scared more of the unknown than the known. For instance, if someone threatens you with, I'm gonna do something to you in the middle of the night, then your imagination starts working. So your imagination, depending how fast your imagination is, how good you are, you can imagine all kind of garbage. You don't know yet. But if you say, okay, in the middle of the night, I will come with a knife. Okay, well, you got scared for the first 5 seconds. Then you say, okay, that's Emil. And then he's got a knife. How long the knife can be? Like this long? Okay, so you start preparing. But if I don't tell you how I'm going to come or who's going to come, your imagination is at play. So the Russians don't tell you yet. They tell you, say, this is a warning. And then if it is going to happen. Consistency, my friends. Let's go to the last article coming from Ukrainska Pravda, and I'm going to show you because these guys really say it differently than everybody else. Right, and it's the same topic, So he says, Putin threatens to launch attacks on countries that supply Ukraine with weapons. This is their understanding of what Putin said. And let me read you the first or 1 or 2 paragraphs. Russia's ruler, Putin, Vladimir Putin, has declared that Russia may deploy long-range weapons to various parts of the world in order to launch attacks on quote-unquote sensitive facilities in countries that supply Ukraine with weapons. So it's exactly what the other guys say, but their translation is, their big title, Putin threatens to launch attacks on countries that supply Ukraine with weapons. By a long stretch, you can make that title. So, finally, maybe the war ends. Why? Because these guys will think, obviously, that Putin is bluffing, and then these guys are going to use a nuclear weapon somewhere, and then these guys are going to say, shit, everybody's going to be going to knocking at the door, be a big line at the toilet to take a shit because they all pooped on their little pants. I don't want it to happen, but it seems like these guys are pushing until the Russians are just going to smack them. And it seems like we're getting there. My problem is, after 2.5 years of destruction, killing, and so on. That's what bothered me. That should have been done, as I said before. People familiar with the matter, familiar with my videos, know that I said for many, many times that should have been done in April and May, maybe late May 2022. The Russians should have said, give a warning or a threat and then a deadline. Like this, I let you know that this is what I'm going to do in the next 3 hours and 25 minutes and blah, blah, blah. That's what I would say. But then you have to do it. But they didn't. Why? Because they're crazy, crazy. But crazy people don't think of consequences. So that tells me that these guys in Moscow are not crazy. Actually, are very calculated. They play chess The other gays, yeah, the other guys play what the checkers, clip, 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 and the other guys are. Here he is. So on. Here is my friends. They will do it, and then what? I guarantee you that the Western will say, see, we were right, this guy is crazy. We gotta get more weapons. You are under threat. Don't talk. Hey, we're gonna infringe this freedom, that freedom, because we fight Putin. Putin has nuclear weapons. He's got a war machine. And the baboons will be like, yeah, how many masks should I put over my pussy? How many more boosters should I take? Government, mommy, daddy, tell me. Fuck you. And they vote. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.